Hello and welcome to the Financial Future Guide. I'm your guy and I'm your guide. My name is Alex and today we're analyzing waste management. With everything going on out in the economy right now, I thought what better to look at than a safe, secure investment, a place to put your money in times of uncertainty. Now, waste management can be found under ticker symbol WM on the New York Stock Exchange. And for my Canadian viewers, remember to not neglect the US market because it is the largest in the world and it's great to diversify yourself into the US economy. Before we get into it, if you want to purchase Canadian stocks and pay $0 in fees, click the link in the description below to open your account with Wealthsimple and get $10 free when you invest your first $100. Alright, let's begin. Waste Management is an American waste management and environmental services company that operates throughout North America. They offer their services to nearly 21 million residential, industrial, and commercial customers in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. Given the industry, they have an extremely resilient business model. In more recent times, we have seen the company designated as an essential service provider during economic disruptions caused by the pandemic, and overall are a very well-suited company to survive times of economic hardship. Waste is produced regardless of the state of the economy. Even a pullback in economic activity will still see excessive amounts of waste produced. Although the company will suffer during a slowing economy, the downside risk is limited due to the general demand for their services. Over 75% of Waste Management's revenue comes from regular, pre-arranged payments, which gives the company fairly predictable cash flows even in times of uncertainty. Waste Management operates in all aspects of the waste industry. Their four core sectors are collection, transfer, landfill, and recycling. Collection is picking up the waste and recyclables from where they are generated and transporting the goods to transfer stations, landfill, recycling plants, and composting areas. In the transfer sector, they consolidate waste and sort materials at one of over 300 transfer stations prior to being transported to their required sites. For landfill, Waste Management has the largest landfill network in North America with 250 locations across the US and Canada. These are all very well positioned in regards to infrastructure, providing them with a strong competitive advantage to new entrants to the industry. As one would assume, a landfill site is not pretty, and it can prove difficult to open new ones. Finally is their recycling sector, in which they process materials for the next possible use. They do this through material processing, recycling commodities, recycling brokerage services, and organic waste disposal. Finally, Waste Management has a very strong geographic position throughout North America. If we take a look at their map that outlines where their facilities are, it is evident that they're providing their services to the majority of Canada and the USA. And as shown in the boxes to the left, are also serving the Puerto Rican area. Now, taking a look at the stock quote for Waste Management, just note that all these prices are in US dollars. Today, Waste Management closed at $113.25. That's down 99 cents on the day, or 0.87%. They have a market cap of $47.844 billion and are currently trading at a P/E ratio of 29.94 over the trailing 12 months. They have earnings per share of $3.78 US and have traded anywhere between $85.34 and $126.79 US in the last year. They're currently paying out a dividend of $2.18 US, which equates to 1.91% dividend yield. So taking a look at the one-year chart for Waste Management, we can see that they did peak around the $125 mark in February and fell about 30% to $91.14. Now, since then, they did subscribe to the Financial Future Guide and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, which allowed them to nicely return some of those losses, and they're currently down about 9.57%. Now, skirting over to the 5-year chart, we can see that they have been growing fairly steadily in the last 5 years. They're currently up 113% from 2015. But what we can also see here is they are fairly close to all-time highs. So we're going to look at the share price versus fair value. Simply Wall Street is a great tool for all investors, and they offer an estimated fair value based on the cash flows the company is expected to generate in the future. Waste Management's fair value estimate is $114.24, which means they are currently 38.4% overvalued. And as always, we will look at the price to book ratio, in which companies that are below 1 could be potentially viewed as undervalued, whereas those with a higher price to book ratio may be trading at a premium. In Waste Management's case, they are trading at a 7 price to book ratio. So it is evident that Waste Management is trading at a higher price. So let's take a look at one of their competitors, Waste Connections, who is currently trading at a 4.1 price to book ratio. So there are definitely a couple of options that you could choose if you wanted to make a play at this industry. However, for this video, we are looking at Waste Management. And as a dividend investor, I always like to look at the dividend growth and history. Waste Management has been growing their dividend over the last 10 years. We can see that back in 2009, they were paying $1.16 US, which equated to 3.5% dividend yield. And due to the growth in share price over the last decade, although they have grown their dividend to $2.18 US, they are only paying a 1.91% dividend yield. Diving into the financials, we can see that Waste Management has been growing their total revenue since 2017 over the last 3 years, and they have also managed to grow their gross profit in this time period. The net income has taken a hit in 2019 and so far in 2020, and this is driven by the increase in other income expenses. And upon further research, I have concluded that this is due to an increase in their selling, general, and administrative expenses. So these are essentially companies' operating expenses that were not included in direct costs of the production of their services. Jumping over to the balance sheet now, we can see that total assets has grown over the last 4 years with a fairly large leap from 2018 to 2019. The majority of this leap has come from the current assets, and this is due to the cash and cash equivalents increasing by about $3.5 billion from 2018 to 2019. Total non-current assets has been growing over the past 4 years, and this is primarily due to their net PPE, and PPE is really just a classification on the balance sheet for the company's fixed assets such as buildings, land, machinery, etc. Taking a look at the liabilities, these have also been growing over the last 4 years. And to break it down, we can see that current liabilities has been fairly steady over the last few years. So we take a look further down the sheet and look at the total non-current liabilities, which has had a fairly large increase from 2018 to 2019. And this is primarily due to the long-term debt that they have taken on in this time. This debt was primarily used to purchase and acquire a smaller rival called Advanced Disposable Services, in which they paid about $3 million in cash. Although Waste Management is taking on increased debt, I do agree with the management's decision that purchasing within the industry would allow them to grow at a quicker rate. So in conclusion, I am not too worried about the increase in debt that they acquired in order to purchase this company. Finally, taking a look at the cash flow statement, I didn't see anything here that was too surprising, and it is just great to note that they do hold about $2 billion in cash on the regular. I'd like to conclude with looking at some of their future plans and my closing thoughts on the company. Waste Management operates in high waste areas. A study concluded by the World Bank Group confirmed that waste generation increases with urbanization. If we take a look at the waste generation by region, we can see that North America sits somewhere in the middle of this chart. However, high-income countries and economies are more urbanized and they generate more waste per capita. Canada and the United States produce the highest average amount of waste per capita or per person than any other country in the world at 2.21 kilograms per day. Now, although this is not good news, the majority of the revenues from Waste Management is derived from these areas, and therefore we should expect them to have a fairly positive future outlook. As mentioned at the beginning, I really like the business model, and I think it does provide your portfolio with some kind of security when the economy is going through tough times. If we take a look at their customers served, we can see that their revenue comes from all sorts of industries, therefore diversifying their risk even further. It is always positive to see a company that is earning their revenues from multiple different sources, as it does mean that the company is not too reliant on one particular sector. Finally, in North America, Waste Management is a recycling leader. They currently have a large range of facilities, including single stream recycling, composting, commercial paper recycling, construction and demolition recycling, and a range of other facilities in order to allow them to accomplish their goals. It is very positive to see that they are the largest residential recycler in North America, and they're continuing to build an economically viable and sustainable recycling platform. I also find it very impressive that they are generating renewable natural gas from their landfills, and this is then used to fuel 62% of their current truck fleet. It is great to see that Waste Management is forward thinking on how to process waste and is even using it to their advantage. So all in all, is Waste Management a buy? As we did see previously, this company is trading at quite a premium. I personally do not have a position in it. However, I have been closely watching this stock and are looking to open one in the future. I know that everyone is looking for a few extra defensive positions to help their portfolio weather the storm if or when a crash hits. I think Waste Management is one of those stocks that will help you sleep at night, and I would definitely consider adding this to your watch list. Well, thanks for watching. Just remember that I am not a financial advisor, and I do recommend you do your own research prior to purchasing the companies that I recommend. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to see videos similar to this one.